Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have set number 70612 with the Green Ninja Mech Dragon. It contains 544 pieces and retails for $49.99. 4 minifigures, and it's just a quick look at the other side of the box. And, you know, this set is from the Ninjago movie wave, the first wave, which came out in summer 2017. The main build is this dragon, which we'll take a look at first. Floyd's dragon is a very serpentine-like design in the Ninjago movie. It's less of the traditional dragon that you see in Ninjago. Yes, it's a mech, but, you know, at first glance you don't immediately notice that. It looks somewhat like an organic dragon. You could use it as one, but it doesn't really have the wings. It's more of a traditional like Chinese style dragon that you see like on Chinese New Year's. It doesn't have like the big wings and big legs. It's not like the traditional castle dragons. It moves away from that standard. Starting with the tail, you can see that we'll use one of these pieces at the very end, which is cool. And it swings around. It has a gear here. They've used this on several other dragons before. I think most notably the Ninjroid Mech Dragon. So I guess it's a common Mech Dragon thing. But it looks good, I guess, presentable. It's got some stickers on either side just to, you know, add a little bit more of that gold accent. And I do like these stickers because they do have a little bit of a metallic shine to them, more than, you know, pearl gold pieces would. So I think that's good. And the legs here on the back, you know, you got ball joints for the feet. The claws are, you know, attached on bars, so they are kind of posable. And this is just on a ratcheted joint, so you can twist it and move it in and out. And I think that works. You know, not too much more I would have asked for in terms of leg articulation on something. Like maybe if it was a bigger dragon, it would have been nice to have an extra joint there, but you know, it's supposed to be kind of low to the ground and not, the legs are just supposed to hold it up, really. The second back section is actually attached in an interesting way. The look of it, you know, is pretty similar to the tail. It's got the same kind of metallic stickers, and looking at the joint that connects them, you can twist it back and forth, but it uses these rubber pieces to limit the motion and kind of send it back to the center. So if you pull it to one side, it'll pull it back, and, you know, vice versa. I think that's good. It's not, like, it's hard to pose it at, like, a, you know, curved-in angle because it'll go back, unless you were to, like, pin in the feet, like, attach them down to Technic pieces. But, you know, it limits displayability just a little bit, but I don't think that it's that big of a deal. Yeah, it would be nice to display it at this slightly more organic angle, but, you know, it's not too bad. And then just looking at this side of the whole main body center section, this is the first thing you build. And it does have these little vestigial wings. It kind of just for show, really. They have no function here, but, you know, I mean, it is what it is, again. And they've got some good stickers on there. That's Ninjago language, and in these scales, yeah, it's cool. And you also have this panel, which is one of the few things that prove that this is, you know, a mech dragon and not just a dragon. It says no step, and it's got Ninjago language, and if you pull this up, you can pull out the engines that this uses, and you can do that on both sides to give it kind of an alternate look, which is good. And I like that you have that option to hide those so that it looks like just a regular dragon, but you can kind of, you know, fly it around like that. It looks a little bit less finished because you see some of this Technic stuff, but it doesn't look bad. So I think it's cool, and you can kind of hide a little bit of it with these wing or winglets. And the front legs are very similar to the back legs. They're a little bit longer, so you can pose this kind of like that, kind of rearing up a little bit. And you could even go a little bit more extreme with that and lower the back legs as far as they'll go. You kind of have to splay out the feet like that, but you can go like that, and then it really is pretty much on the ground back here, and then completely reared up at the front, which works. And you also do, with these front legs, have some stud shooters that shoot off, you know, just like so. And you lose the studs, and they disappear forever, but that's okay, because they give you extras. Good to add a little bit of extra play value. And then the neck section is probably one of my favorite parts. You can move the whole head up and down at the neck, and then you can move the neck side to side and rotate it around. So I think that's good articulation there. There is a clip to hold Lloyd's sword, as well as a stickered control panel there, and then this really neat printed book cover piece, actually, that has the 2 bars, and you can see through it and everything, and that's printed and looks really good. And it's attached with some sand green skeleton arms. And then I think the last thing to show you in this area is that Lloyd gets 4 studs to sit on and a little bit of a seat back. So I think that that's pretty good, and I think that this section looks particularly excellent from, you know, any sort of angle, especially like this, where you can see him looking at the control panel. I think that that's good. It is a little bit awkward though when you're trying to rear up the dragon. He has to like go up with it. I kind of wish that the head had a little bit more independent movement, but again, you can see stickers there. And then this dragon head is a cool cool design to it. It's got some new molded parts for this bottom jaw. That's one big piece with some stuff attached onto it to attach it to the bottom. It's a good mold. I like it, and I like how the top and bottom of the mouthpieces kind of, you know, they line up really well, and you got these teeth covering the bottom. Yeah, it works. It's got a nice bright colored tongue, which is a little bit distracting, I think. If you open the mouth too far, you see so much purple. I don't know if I like that, but, you know, with one click, I think it works. And you can, if you want to, and you really squeeze your fingers in there, you can pose the tongue, stick it up a little bit, but I think it looks best just flat. These pieces on the side, you know, you can move some of this stuff to some extent, like the horns, and then these things you can kind of move it around to make it look like it's moving differently in the wind. You can pose those, and then this here can move in and out, and that's mainly to cover up the joints so you don't see it when you move it side to side. You can, you know, twist them in and out. And I think that overall this is a cool build for the head. I think it looks good. The articulation is a little bit weird to me, just how, you know, you have to move the neck as well. But I don't think that there are many better ways that they could have done that, so I don't mind it too much. And again, this is just a view from the other side. It does look pretty much the same. There's really no difference. It's symmetrical side to side. For good guys in the set, we get Lloyd and Master Wu, and, you know, they're both good figures. Wu appears in the cheaper Master Falls set, so this isn't the cheapest way to get him, and Lloyd also appears in the collectible minifigures series. Slightly different just because the face doesn't have one side, but, you know, I mean, this is technically the second cheapest way to get Lloyd in his green ninja suit, so, you know, keep that in mind. On their backs, they have some good printing, and again, if we zoom in on Lloyd, you can see he's got the black on black print, and that continues on to both arms, so there's a look at one. And Wu has, you know, the good cloth piece, and some decent back print, but, you know, to see the print on his torso, you have to remove his beard. I like how it connects, you know, down through the legs, and just look at his face, as well as Lloyd's face and his alternate expression. And here we have Charlie and Garmadon. Garmadon obviously being the more interesting of the two bad guys. He comes with the ultimate weapon, which appears in 3 sets, but, well, that's not the ultimate weapon, but just the ultimate weapon. This appears in 3 sets, the same build, Destiny's Bounty, this one, and Garma Mecha Man. This is the cheapest of the 3, but there are no exclusive parts. It's just, you know, a build with regular things, and it is basically a keychain laser pointer. The Charlie figure is a relatively standard, common one. Garmadon, is in his four-armed outfit, and that cloth piece is actually exclusive to this one set, which is cool. And I think that does a good job of making Garmadon, feel complete. So this is a really desirable thing, I think, in this set. It's not a must-have, because, Garmadon without this, exactly the same, except without the cape, does appear in several sets, so, but I think that this makes him feel a little bit more complete. Charlie looks good, got good prints, but they're relatively common. Garmadon, you can see, has the same old prints as all the other versions of him from the Ninjago movie, as well as the face, which, obviously is different in some versions, but most of them are like this. And there is his torso, and back prints on both torsos, and no alternate facial expressions for either of these guys. But I think that they're both pretty good figures, and Garmadon especially is relatively desirable. Overall, I think that this is a interesting looking set. I think it looks good on display. There's really no bad angle for it, I would say. I mean, you could make some arguments that, oh, maybe that side of the foot isn't super finished. But, realistically, you're not really going to notice that if you just put this on a shelf for display. You'd have to kind of be nitpicking to find, bad looking areas. The figure selection is good. Garmadon especially, is the highlight. Wu's not bad, and it's nice to get, all the main characters really in one set. The sand green color scheme is also very interesting, because, we don't get a ton of sets in sand green in the Ninjago range, so this kind of makes it look a little bit more interesting. Just visually, it kind of stands out. And sand green is a relatively rare color, so a lot of these parts are, relatively uncommon. So, that's also a bonus. Like, these pieces only appear in this set and Ninjago City. So, that's cool if you're looking for these. This makes him more readily available. I think that overall this set is cool. A lot of people have been really praising this set for, being one of the best Ninjago movie sets. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that, it's good, and the whole range of Ninjago movie sets is really good. So, it kind of is a battle for which is the best. I don't like the set as much as Destiny's Bounty, or, Ninjago City, obviously. It's a lot smaller, so, you gotta keep that in mind too. But even compared with some of the other mechs, I haven't built it yet, but the Quake mech looks more interesting to me. And the Fire mech too looks good. I also like Zane's Ice Tank, probably about equally with this, so, there's some tough competition, but I think that, it's a good set, and I would still recommend it. It's just, I feel like it's outshined by a couple of the other Ninjago movie sets, so, tough competition within this theme. But, again, I'd recommend it. If you like this one, just based on the looks, I would say definitely go for it, because you won't be disappointed. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.